Going on, happy folks? I'm back. So it's a Ram. As you can see, it's got a different appearance to it. As you can see, I added some wheels and tires along with some traction bars. I'm getting too old out here. So I'm gonna tell you the reason as to what went on. One with a new tail light because somebody wouldn't move their ass from tire pump last month. But we're not gonna talk about that. All right. For the wheels and tires, we got 275 60R15s in the back. I went with a different size on the front because I thought the wheel wouldn't clear the hub, but it did. I guess the caliper, the hub, whatever. I thought they wouldn't clear, but apparently the 15s do. So I'm gonna switch them from a 16 to a 15. But I'll stick these 16s on my spare little 95 over there. You know what I'm saying? Running and driving like a little champ. But anywho, we're gonna be looking at this thing here and just checking out how beautiful it sits with this whole wheel and tire package. Again, has a nice little mexi flush look with the rear tires in the back. But other than that, it sits nicely. A lot of people like it. So we're going to talk about the flip kit. Let me start on the flip kit here. So the whole entire time I'm rocking the flip kit wrong. These tires kind of exposed my issue. And the plan is to go the C-notch. So that way I can lower this rear end a little bit more and get the frame off the axle here. Because as you can see, the little rubber stop sits right on the axle. But earlier, a while back, I had the U-joints here turned to the side of the axle, not facing the way they are, like front and back. And it ended up giving bad axle wrap. That's why the traction bars are on. And I thought maybe it's just because it needs some traction bars. No, because your boy Brandon was out here screwing up. And, I ain't perfect, but usually I'm a screw up, but I learn from my mistakes. I screwed up. I ended up rocking the flip kit wrong. I had to re-weld the purchase, which I'm not showing you my welds. Again, I'm not perfect. I'm not professional, but it works. It works for the time being. So I may end up taking the traction bars back off, and sooner or later next month, I'll add the cow tracks on there, and I'm going to try to make a video on me adding them on there. This is going to be the first time adding cow tracks to a truck. I'm going to try to. So let's move on to the next thing here, and that would be the transmission pressure gauge. I added a transmission pressure gauge to this thing, so that way I could tell what kind of pressure I got from the transmission. Along with what I've done with the transmission, I had a TFOD shift kit in it, and for the longest I had this issue, it's been an issue since I've added the kit in since, I'm gonna say 2023 of December. Has always had this issue where I would be driving. If you drive normal, say if I'm cruising around town, first, second, third, all engage fine. But it would engage fine. But at wide open throttle, first, second, it would work just fine. Second to third, it would hesitate. Second gear would hesitate to shift before it can get in the third, and it would piss me off when I'm going down the track. And I have the let off at 75% throttle, and after that, the truck would shift in the third, so when I go back into it at wide open throttle, it would slip. So then I ended up throwing the CRT John Cope Racing Transmissions valve body, and it did nothing but wonders for me, man. I love it, and it's worth every penny, every single penny. It's done well. So I ended up running it down the strip with the 100 shot, and the way this thing sits. Plus, I also added the 14 gears. I forgot to include that. I added 14 gears to this thing. So with all that, what it's got going on now, the way it sits, it ran a 9.8. So yeah, it's pretty good. But I added a few changes to the thing, and we'll go to the engine side here. So a good amount of you can recognize here that this right here is a 2003 Crown Victoria fan that I done hooked up to the sheet metal radiator shroud that I made. I hooked it up, and then all I did was just I took off the resistor off the Crown Vic that they come with. I think it hooks up right there. All I did was I just popped it right off. I hooked up 2 little wires to it, and next thing you know, I let my thermostatic radiator fan controller do his job, and it fired right up. It kept this motor cool and whatever not. And after that, it's been keeping this thing cool. I can cruise around town. Now, it does drain the battery just a tiny bit, which is, that's where I'll be going to the Durango 360 alternator upgrade. So I'll try to figure that out. I'm gonna try to make a YouTube video on that too, but again, I don't do this YouTube thing full time, so I'm gonna need y'all to bear with me on that one. So, all right, now for the nitrous lines, last video, what changed, you saw that the fuel line, but the fuel solenoid was right here. It was on the other side where the bracket wasn't cut off. As you can see, it's cut off. It was on the other side, and I had that fuel line come from the solenoid all the way around, and it went straight back to that throttle body. Well, when I had it like that, the truck would lean out and then it would run rich. I was like, what the heck is going on, man? I don't understand it. Because, not gonna lie to you, in the last video, I was flexing. The kit, wasn't using it properly. But now I done figured it out 10 months ago. It was shortly right after that video, I ended up changing the setup just like this, and ever since then I've been hitting the 50 shot, and then I quickly went straight to a 100 shot when I learned that 100 shot was just fine on the 5.2 liter magnum / 5.9, but it's a 5.2 liter. So yeah, I've been rocking it like that, and I added the long tube headers. I've not tested this. I've not tested the truck on the long tube headers yet, but I can't wait to test it out. I think the long tube headers will probably kill maybe a tenth. Just a tenth. I'm gonna say just a tenth. So, and what's next? I added the valve covers on there. I ended up running some. I vented out one little whatchamacallit for the oil catch can here, which turns out to be a Walmart bottle. You can get one of them bottles for, I think it's about $10 from Walmart, and they're right there with all the rest of them little. I can't think of the name of the bottle. They're like the water bottles that you can get from Walmart. But anywho, it works. It works. You get one line to run from one side of the valve cover, and the other side is self-explanatory. I ran them from the bottom. That top portion, it runs back into your intake manifold. That's it. Plain and simple, it works. I just got through emptying it out. I baby the thing majority of the time in town. Honestly, nobody tries to race this thing because the way it sits. I don't know, maybe it's intimidating. But let me see what else. Any other changes to this thing that I need to address? Because today I'm gonna do brake fluid exchange on it, because I want to keep it as a foot brake truck and a 4 manual valve body, so that way I won't screw up with a reverse manual. I'm trying to fight it from becoming a reverse manual valve body truck, because there are some times where I wanted to use the whole 24-2800 RPM out of launch, and either it will shit out the drive shaft, or it would literally damn fly on my face, or it would literally be it would break the tires loose before it would start spinning them and whatever not. But we're gonna get that situated, man. We're gonna try to situate that and try to post up a YouTube video of this thing through a pool down the road. It sounds nasty with the long tube headers and the nitrous especially, but I don't know, it's something about this truck. When you make this 11.5-second truck bone stock go from 11.5 to 9.8, it does something to you. It's like, okay, I want to figure something out. And my brother's sitting here telling me that I need to get a 2020 Super, but it's something about this thing that, I don't know, it's something about a 318 and the way I done have built this truck. I mean, I was building this thing for shits and giggles because, I don't know, I mean, I ended up with that truck because this one right here, the transmission, as you can see, and took a dookie in it because I didn't fill it up all the way. And after that, it ended up becoming a project. That's what led this thing becoming a project. So yeah, but I'm gonna keep you guys updated on this thing, man. Hopefully I can get that situated and realistically just ignore the hair. And realistically, man, up adding the cam and stuff and the Holly. I got the Holly Terminator sitting in the room right now. But other than that, I don't know. I'm gonna try to get it. I'm gonna try to get it into the 9s just on motor, and then try to get it into the 8s on nitrous. Maybe a long stretch. I mean, it may be a long shot, but I feel like I can get it done. So we're gonna see. Let me keep y'all updated. Peace.